Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for your Smackdown post-show for January 24th Royal Rumble season, just around the corner. We thank you for hanging out with us after a 3-hour Smackdown. We're going to talk all about it. We did have some unexpected people showing up. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. We had Damian Priest coming over via the transfer portal and a whole lot more to talk about. So get in those super chats, get in your Humper Chats at humperchats.com and leave a thumbs up on this video. Sean, right now, you know why this is going up to $6 a month on Fightful Select? Is because
Tell
Sean,
us why.
He's gambling your money in Vegas. Not really, but he is in Vegas. He is in Vegas currently, but that does not mean the scoops stop. If you logged on earlier today, you would see that Fightful Select reported Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley was being discussed, which is some very interesting news. So some good stuff happening on FightfulSelect.com. The best $6 in the biz coming up. You can still lock in for that annual rate as well. But so many scoop skis going on over there. Deonna Purrazzo asking for more TV time. Also something that was reported on FightfulSelect.com. You know who else wants Deonna Purrazzo to have more screen time? Me! I do. I've been also complaining about that, as has Cardosa, but we're going to get into this episode of SmackDown. Please chat along with us. Let us know what you thought overall. I felt like we had good pacing last time. I felt like this episode was the opposite. We are so rematch heavy. It is getting exhausting. It is getting really, really exhausting. It feels like we're limping into Rumble with that because I look up and down this card and I've seen so many of these matches before. Was it all of them? Has it been all of them? Not Melo and Priest. KO and Jimmy is a little bit fresher, but my goodness, a lot of the same permutations of people. But some other exciting news on this. Charlotte Flair looks like she's coming back for Rumble. We got a vignette from her. I don't know why they didn't just let that be a surprise. I'm kind of bummed about that, but she's going to be on it next week going into it. So I'm sure her and Miss Tiffany Stratton are going to have some words to exchange. But let's get into this episode. Boy, this felt like a 2-hour episode that was stretched out into 3, Alex. This was not the best one. I felt like last week's was in a really, really great direction. This felt like we were just killing so much time here. And I understand that, like, Royal Rumble is kind of reset season, so you're kind of limping in there anyway. But, like, they just remembered today that they have a Women's Royal Rumble, it felt like, in that carousel segment. I was so, like, man, let us have some Royal Rumble surprises. Don't announce to me that Charlotte's coming back and then suddenly remember that you have to mention that all your stars are going to be in this as well. Like, got kind of boring. So I don't know. This one didn't feel as good as last week. Last week I was really excited. Felt like we were kind of really falling into a rhythm. This week didn't do it for me. What did you think kind of overall?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to maybe attribute it to the fact that tomorrow they have the show going on, the Saturday night's main event. So today felt like a very much like a go-home show that very homey. They didn't really want to push the envelope, maybe. It's hard, man, because this show was on a roll. Even when it had its matches, continuous matches, the rematches that we were watching, it still was able to fill in the holes with something new. We've also gotten away from threading storylines with the Bloodline, so that it feels a little bit of a show that's trying to find its identity, because it's been so, like, put together with Bloodline starting, Bloodline ending, right? That now it's just like a free for all. You know, we got portals, we got people freaking portaling themselves through, and whatever the case may be. So, but before we go, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys that are watching right now, and a huge shout out to Sabrina in the chat, because she said, "You better shout me out or I will drop kick you." And I said, "Okay."
You gotta pay money if you want that guarantee, girl. But we love Sabrina around these parts. We'll allow it for her. She gets special treatment.
That's it. Just today. No, never. Don't ever ask me, because I don't like violence. don't like getting hit. You know what I'm saying?
I'll watch other people get hit. But Tim McFarland saying, wow, I hated tonight's show almost as much as Alex Prime. Motor City Machine Guns / Yes Boys and Priest and Mello humped, but creative was lazy and either boring or straight bad. Luckily, Bangs and Clavs are here to save us. Well, I am always excited to get to do this. So I am in the same boat as you, where I felt like a lot of this kind of just felt like a little default heavy, a little lazy. But Taylor Cannon saying, hello, favorite post show. Today has been a long day. Moving tomorrow and spent most of my day packing and preparing. Missed SmackDown, but I did see Jacob Fatu as usual. He was top tier. We're going to talk about that in a second. But him and like these walk and talk segments, I call them the West Wing segments because Wing always had those long walk and talks. He's always great, but he kills those especially. Like there's something about him like moving and creeping in on you with his intimidating like delivery and stuff. We'll talk more about that later. But
can I just ask you a quick question? Do you feel like there's WWE when they do things, even now with their current new production crew, I've noticed that they kind of overdo a lot of things here and there, like those walkthroughs, the West Wings. They kind of like really push them. Like you've seen it. I saw it more than twice today. Am I wrong for that? Like, did I see that too much, or am I rewinding and pressing play my mistake?
I'll tell you what, I don't really have as much of a problem with that as give me an hour of main roster programming without a celebrity waving at me. I am so tired of celebrities waving at me. Stop. Matthew McConaughey, I get. He was like almost a part of the show today with the way that Kevin Owens was calling him out. All right. We're in Texas, baby. I get it. But like, it's constant. It's so constant because SmackDown is 3 hours and Raw is 2.5 and overloaded with it. Enough celebrities waving at me. I'm so tired of.
They're waving at you, Kate. Obviously, wave back at them. Damn it!
Waving to everybody and back me. Hi, everyone.
At least you're waving at people. I drop names on the ground, but
you do. It's true.
You may continue. Let's not bring that up today. We're not doing.
I don't need to drop celebrity names. Okay, I am the celebrity.
I mean, Kate, I'm still trying to fit into your schedule. I'm going up to Jersey in June. I haven't heard anything about like, hey, yeah, sure, let's hang out. Let's go grab a cup of coffee.
You haven't given me dates. You haven't given me dates that you're arriving here. Sorry, I don't know my schedule 6 months in advance, Alex. Okay.
The clavicles always know their schedule. The Bangs needs to get with it. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. I'll just wave at you. Talk to my assistant. But let's dive into this episode. You had mentioned kind of the Bloodline was the through line through most of these shows, meaning it was bookending them and then you were getting something in the middle. That's kind of pivoted to Cody and Kevin Owens and whatever KO was doing to kind of accelerate that in the case of this episode. So I thought this Cody promo was perfectly cromulent, as the one Simpsons reference I get. This was kind of a standard Cody Rhodes promo. This is the week before the go home, right? So I get it. This was perfectly fine. Tess is interviewing Cody in Austin, Texas. That was the home of the late Dusty Rhodes. Cody Rhodes points out, and he talks about his upcoming title defense here. Kind of says that he trusts Shawn Michaels to help moderate that tomorrow. We're going to talk about that whole thing in a second too. But he kind of reflects on his WrestleMania aspirations and talks about taking the package pile driver at Saturday night's main event the first time around. And criticizes Kevin Owens for the way he goes about things, but can't deny that he's pretty brilliant for the way that he goes about things. And he kind of just emphasizes the stakes of their ladder match and says, like, I know I'm a good guy, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to fight really hard. And drawing on lessons from Randy Orton, he says he's going to bring the fight at Royal Rumble to KO. Solid, effective stuff. You know, we've kind of said that the Cody title reign started really slow. Like the Logan Paul stuff wasn't great. The first match with AJ Styles was pretty good. That second one, the ending was really weird and weak. It got better with the stuff against Gunther. This KO feud has certainly been great. I think this is a good promo to push along a final match, and next week, or probably on Saturday night's main event, actually tomorrow, we'll get the real stuff. But this was the connective tissue promo, and it was a perfectly fine way to start off the show. What did you think of how we started?
Yeah, Cody, as of late, Cody's promos seem to tend to be like a little bit like kind of like weirdly forced on me. I felt like before when he first got into WWE, they were coming a little bit more natural, right? Because like that authenticity of having to come back to the company, right? But now it's like Joe Tess, who to me is like a mix of a broadcaster with Mean Gene. When I mentioned this, like when I close my eyes, I hear Mean Gene. Like he has that strong, like
welcome, the timbre of his voice. Yeah. It's kind of crazy,
which is cool. I love it. But like we're in the town of a home of a plumber. Like I'm like, come on, guys, can we just like get in? Like the slow. Well, Joe Tess. I'm like, come on, let's speed this up. Like, I want Cody to kind of give me a different feeling. To me, he's kind of the promos. The promos are always hit, but I feel like I need a little bit more, and that's just personally. I'm pretty sure the audience feels differently. People who are watching there feel differently, but I would like it to be a little more concise and have him have more passion. Not at the end of the show like we noticed and we'll talk about, but you know what I mean.
And I think that promo is probably what's coming tomorrow. Like that,
yes.
This was, yeah, like that's probably where that will be. But this was just kind of the connective tissue. And you're right. Like I've noticed a lot of times that these shows feel like they're designed for the live crowd because the live crowd is less fatigued on rematches because they were going to Smackdown and got to see Rhea Ripley and Liv, right? Like kind of things like that. That will wear thin. We saw that happen with Vince, right? So I thought this was a perfectly suitable opener. I think part of the issue with this, Alex, is honestly like Kevin Owens kind of has all the juice. And I'm not just saying like that as a KO stand, which I admittedly is. If Kevin Owens was fighting for toilet of the year, I would be the biggest toilet of the year enthusiast in the world. He's just one of those wrestlers that I'm continually so in love with the work of. But he has all the juice, meaning like he's got the Winged Eagle belt right now. He's got all of the justification in his corner. And Cody has some stuff to fight back with, but there's such a compelling argument on Kevin Owens' side that there's not a lot of room for Cody to refute. But I think tomorrow that'll probably be the big piece of it. Kylie, the gamer princess, says, hi, you cutie patooties. Hope y'all are well. I am doing better now that you're here. And I will just reiterate, as I have been doing a lot this week, that this is a safe space for everybody except for bigots. So I just want everybody to know that
I'm not rolling with anything tonight. I'll go crazy. I've been saying enough on TikTok, friends. Like it's just, you're here. We're here with you. I don't give a shit.
That's it. We're here to talk wrestling and let everybody be themselves, and that is what we do around these parts.
And I'll fight someone for you, so just tell me where and when.
He really will. I've seen it. It's nasty. Yeah. He's basically Jacob Fatu.
6'5", full of sexiness.
Let's keep rolling with this Kevin Owens and Cody through line that we had here. We have Kevin Owens coming out later in the show, talking to Joe Tessitore, saying that everyone's a kiss ass, which I love. He was like, Michael Cole would be here, but he was too busy kissing Pat Mac's ass on Raw. Everyone around here is a kiss ass. He asked why people want to be Cody's best friends, and he says that Cody just uses people and betrays them when they are his best friends.
Can I say something? When he said Cody uses his friends, I was like, ooh, there's something there.
Yeah.
There's something there. And I felt it when he said that. I was like, whoa. Like, it wasn't just a normal, like, he uses his friends because he's friends with people in WWE. No, that was deep. I liked it.
So I liked this from Alex, too. He said, also, the problem is that KO keeps telling truths about Cody, but we're supposed to think he's lying. So there is this kind of juxtaposition in his character that I don't really love. I'm not a big imposter belt person. Those angles just are not for me. But he is very justified in telling the truth in a lot of ways, but then he's lying about the fact that he's champion. So I kind of prefer that you don't take both sides of the fork in the road on that. Like, I think it's better when you just pick one side. So I'm all there for that. But then he starts to do the unthinkable, Alex. Then he starts to needle at Matthew McConaughey, of all people, who is sitting there in the crowd. And what I love about Matthew McConaughey here is he does not take into account at all that it's a wrestling crowd. He looks like a serious actor in this moment. Like, he does not, like, he is not hamming it up. He didn't Macaulay Culkin reveal himself. He's not, he's not a waving celebrity. He looked at him like he was acting in a scene. Like,
I think he was ready to fight.
It was like, I've known Cody for at least 12 minutes now. All right. How dare you?
I'm in backstage.
But then Jimmy Uso comes out here to run off the McConaughey heat. And KO asks Jimmy why he's out there. And Jimmy says, because you talk too damn much. And he attacks him. And in my head, I thought, Kevin Owens talks the exact right amount. But I'll let it slide. And he goes to the top rope. But KO rolls out of the way, which I like because KO has issues with Jimmy, but he's got a big Royal Rumble match that he should be more concerned about until Jimmy lays down the challenge, which I really liked. Like, that worked for me because KO is also not the kind of guy to back down from a fight, but he's not going to sit around and wait for you to challenge him either. So I kind of dug that. And we got a good match at the end of this. Like, one thing I've really appreciated about this Kevin Owens run is there's just been a reminder of how damn good he is in the ring, and that he's making regular TV matches pop off the screen with really great kind of in-ring storytelling, but winning with the pop-up powerbomb here. He had the Feel the Glow shirt on, which I really, really liked. Some fun stuff with the announce table, and then to the surprise of literally nobody, Cody Rhodes runs down here. So these kind of formulaic angles, it's harder to like forgive the formulaicness of them in a 3-hour format as well, because they kind of all are right now. And that's just the nature of where we're at. We're just over a week from Royal Rumble. So it's not going to be earth-shattering progression, right? Like you had kind of said, but this was a good little through line. They got to stop calling Jimmy Uso Big Jim. That makes him sound like... I
hate it.
He's not... It sounds like my dad's neighbor friend who we call when the lawnmower's broken. Big Jim!
It sounds like a professional wrestler that comes out with 2 bears. I don't know why, but...
Yeah. You know what? If it's a Big Josh tribute, I'm okay with it. But like, we already have Big Bronson Reed. If the bar for big is Bronson Reed, no offense, Jimmy Uso, but like, you are not coming close. You cannot be big as Bronson. You have to be extremely large Bronson Reed if you've got Big Jimmy.
I've stood next to him. I'm way taller than all these guys, and it's just crazy. Like, you can't use big. Like, I know you're trying to separate him from his brother, trying to give each one their own little identity, but Big Jim ain't it, bro. And especially like doing the whole thing, like, separate yourself from your brother, do your own thing, you know?
Yes, I agree. Meet Norma saying, can't stay long, sup, bangs, and claves, and whatever Cardoza is doing. Now we can crank. Can we please go back to 2-hour SmackDown asking for a friend? Well, I hope I'm your friend, because I'm asking the same thing, but I have completely 180'd on my stance of Big Jim if it's a Big Josh tribute, as it should be. Long live the legend, Big Josh. But he has to come to the ring with 2 bears. He
has to come with, and they have to be tattooed.
Yeah.
In like, you know, Polynesian or whatever, you know, like Samoan, like beautiful tattoos all over their body, like bears all tattooed. Like, how crazy would that be? I'm going on a tangent, friends. I'm sorry.
There's so many people in the chat who have no idea who the hell Big Josh is. And I'm so glad, because we get to educate them about Big Josh if you don't know, okay? Before Doink the Clown was Doink the Clown, he was Big Josh. He was a lumberjack, and he came to the ring with what I thought were fake bears, but they were real bears. They were just so damn drugged. I thought they were fake. It was insane. I love it.
I'm here for it. I think when I go visit, you should have 2 bears.
Who says I don't?
Oh.
Just saying. They don't really fit my off.
I've only met Kate once, and she kind of like just was like, are you going to pay for my stuff? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, and then I left. We didn't even talk. Well, let's keep rocking and rolling. We did mention Charlotte Flair. She wasn't on the show, but they did do a vignette. I'm so disappointed they didn't just let this be a Royal Rumble surprise. I think it's one that we knew anyway, but I just would have loved if we got the surprise because I think she has to be in the Final Four because I think she's going to face Tiffany Stratton. So I think it's going to be her, or based on the news on FightfulSelect.com, best $6 in the business, it's going to be her or Bianca, I think. So the vignette was really cool. And I'm so excited she's coming back. And I'm so excited she's going to be in Royal Rumble. Just let it be a surprise.
Yeah.
Let me be. I know she's coming back, but let me be surprised. Let the crowd pop. Let them react. But I'm sure next week we'll get some sort of showdown with Tiffany Stratton because it does feel like that's probably where they're going. But also don't telegraph that to me because I don't need that either. Just let there be Royal Rumble surprises. I don't know why we do that. I do think for the women's Royal Rumble, especially though, there's a great deal of potential for there to be other surprises. Sounds like Nikki Bella might be on the way back. All those NXT talent, Jordynne Grace coming in. I think there's a lot of possibilities there. So I'm a little less bummed about that, but it's Charlotte freaking Flair, man. Let the surprise be the surprise. I thought the vignette was cool though. She basically said there's a difference between arrogance and confidence. Confidence, you don't have to constantly go around saying that you're the GOAT, basically. And she just says that she has a legacy that's untouchable. I think that's probably inarguable, at least from the amount of title reigns aspect. She's a generational talent for sure. And it's funny because hopefully Becky will be a Rumble surprise. They should probably enter back-to-back. That would be really, really fun. But we will see. Were you on the same page as me that you wanted it to be a surprise, or are you kind of like, nah, let's do the showdown between her and Tiffany next week?
I would have loved for it to be a surprise, to be completely honest. I just miss that aspect of
sure,
professional wrestling. Surprise me. Everything doesn't have to be, we need to say the name so we can continue pushing tickets. Just let it be, dude. You're already making $10 billion for the next 10 years. Surprise us. Play around with the stuff,
I agree. And they're not exactly having a problem selling tickets. So, guys, get in those super chats and humper chats. We are working our way through this episode of Smackdown. We got this chat from Bad Robot saying, hello, favorite post show. I'm still championing Io and Rhea. They teased it. Follow up, please. SummerSlam is 2 nights this year. Have Rhea and Bianca main event. More women's matches on PLEs, main eventing, please. I unfortunately don't think that will happen. I feel like both women's matches are going to open, which sucks. As far as Io goes, she is kind of the one that's hard to place if you're going to do Bianca and Rhea. Though they teased Bianca, what was that, 3 Rumbles ago? And they haven't capitalized. They should. That would be really, really cool. So I'm kind of rooting for that. Io deserves to be prominently placed somewhere on the card. I'm wondering if it's a tag match with her and Dakota versus maybe it'll be Jade and Naomi, depending on how that plays out or whatever that looks like. So we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. But Io certainly deserves it. She's been one of the most consistent women's performers in wrestling over the past decade, but especially this year, and especially while you had Charlotte and Becky out, you needed someone to, from a work rate perspective, help that division rise up rather than meet people kind of where they're at, because we saw it time after time after time. While Liv was fighting only Rhea in her revenge tour, it was kind of Io that was the one helping carry along the rest of that division for a lot of these. So that Io and Bianca TV match, I think, was more compelling than a lot of women's wrestling in general, really. So Io definitely deserves it. My guess is we'll get a 4-pack of women's tag matches or some sort of faction highlight or whatever. But I'm with you. I think Io deserves it.
Can I say something real quick? This is just me thinking out loud. Oh, God, never mind. Goodbye.
Go on.
With the Royal Rumble, as the kid likes to call it, coming up, and it's a 2-night event. Am I right? Yes. Okay. We should just split the nights. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Saturday, have all the women wrestle, including the Women's Royal Rumble. Saturday, have all the men wrestle, including the Men's Royal Rumble. Kind of give the women that shine, man. Let them just go. You know, there's enough women that you can. They're only going to have 5 matches anyway, and one of them is the Rumble.
Good idea, except it's only one night this year.
No, wait. Is next year there's 2? Is
next year?
Okay.
I think the 2 night starts with SummerSlam this year, and then next Rumble is
SummerSlam.
2 nights.
I apologize. It's SummerSlam this 2 nights. Yeah. I mean, like this. I mean, yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yes, okay, my bad. I think this should just run both nights anyway.
It does feel like we kind of have a better idea what the cards are, especially since we do have the tag picture shaping up. So that works. But let's keep talking about women and the Royal Rumble since we're on that topic anyway.
Oh, wait. Hold on. My producer's talking to me. I've been told that is Saudi next year is the Rumble.
That is correct. Yeah, that'll be 2 nights.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
But the 2 night thing starts with SummerSlam.
So there will be no women over there. Got it. Okay.
No, there will be. And they will be in awesome full body suit gear. That's what I'm thinking. But we do have a carousel. We just remembered we have to announce some women are in the Royal Rumble promo here. You got Tiffany coming out kind of waxing poetic about her title and Royal Rumble. And I like that she says, hey, I beat last year's winner Bayley already. So whoever wins this one, come at me. And Rhea shows up. And I like this too. She says, man, I respect what you did to Nia, but it pales in comparison to what I'm going to do to her tomorrow. I thought that was a cute way to go about business. But this is the most unnecessary among unnecessary things. Nia comes out and she declares for Rumble, even though she has a title match tomorrow, which we know Rhea's going to retain. But let me believe it a little bit and either be a surprise at the Rumble or declare next week or declare tomorrow after you lose to Rhea. Why are you saying you're going to be a double champion here? That was a weak reasoning for announcing that you are going to declare for a match when there's already a title defense that I'm having issues believing you're going to win anyway. So I did not like that at all. But Bianca and Naomi come down to the ring. You're not going to believe this, but they also declare for the Royal Rumble.
No freaking way. I missed that.
And then Liv Morgan and Raquel come out, and you're not going to believe this, but they declare for the Royal Rumble.
That's amazing.
Man, I got to say, of all the nonsense stuff that was around Liv's reign, and it's not Liv's fault, but the fact that it was mostly about Dominic, the fact that it was a revenge tour that involved one person, of all of it, the Dom left you for a real woman, as if there's any, and I get that heels lie. I understand that. To call Rhea Ripley not a real woman, someone who breaks the internet when she so much breathes at Instagram and looks like that. I constantly, the insinuation that Liv was so hot, which she's a beautiful young lady, don't get me wrong, but that Rhea was ugly in some way because she has muscles is insane. When I know men and women that just thirst over Rhea Ripley. Sean has said multiple times now that being in his job, the thing that he gets asked about with non-wrestling fans the most is probably Rhea Ripley. And just that woman is a force to be reckoned with. It is so beautiful. So I've hated that from the beginning. I hate that they continue it. I'm so tired of seeing them in the ring together. Enough. But we, of course, do get a trios match out of all of these people declaring things. It's Rhea, Bianca, and Naomi versus Nia, Candice, and Liv, with Raquel out there, who is also in the Rumble. And you have Candice catching Rhea Ripley with a code breaker, Bianca crushing Candice with the KOD, but Liv is legal and grabs Bianca with the crucifix to get the surprise 3 count. And my whole thing with this is, why the hell didn't you have Nia pin Rhea if they are having a match tomorrow? Or at least that come into play at the end.
Listen.
Do the wrestling math so that Rhea can win. You already said that Nia is going to be in Royal Rumble. You already took the believability away from me. Come on, man. At least have them be in the decision of this trios match. Not a fan. Simple stuff tonight that they really, really could have fixed.
There was like it felt like there was a need to rush and say everyone that was in the Rumble. Like, you don't need to come out there and waste time talking about being in the Rumble or doing vignettes. Go back old school, man. Do a little spinneroo thing with the freaking balls in it, like the old school lottery. You know what I'm saying? Like, have everyone just pull out a ball and pick a number and go. Like, and then you have these brawls come out of nowhere. Like you mentioned, it was just, a lot of time wasted today.
Probably not pinned. Pinning champions is stupid. That's a very fair point. But like, there should have been some sort of interaction that made Nia feel dominant, considering like we already know she's not going to win, and you cut the legs under any believability that we had there. So better path would have been Rhea getting compromised in some way by Nia here to make me believe things. But I don't feel like that really came across either. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. But is what it is. Guys, get in your super chats and humper chats. Please leave a thumbs up on this video. We're going to keep talking about the ladies' matches, as well says, looks like Chelsea is starting a faction with Piper talking to Blair in the background. I would love if Blair Davenport was on my TV again. I feel like I'm going to wait and see where that goes, but I would like for this feud to go somewhere other than Michin fighting Chelsea Green.
Yes.
Again. The whole point of this title was to give other women on the roster a chance to fight for something that meant something to the show, and literally only Michin has like gotten to fight for it for the most part here, in any sort of real way. But we do get our tag match. I am loving Piper like playing the mall cop role and clearing things before Chelsea enters somewhere. That's a pretty cute touch with things. But you have Michin tagging in before B-Fab gets hit with the black hole slam. A drop kick to Piper here, but Chelsea Green tries the unprettier on Michin, only to counter it with the eat defeat on Green and get the pin. Later backstage, we find out that Michin is facing Chelsea Green again. I think Chelsea wins again, which I don't really like because I feel like that's Michin losing again. But we'll see. I feel like this time maybe they'll do a non-finish or something, but I hate that because it's inconclusive. But I don't know. I don't know what they do here. I don't think it goes to Michin, but I feel like her losing yet again feels like a bad idea. So I don't love setting this up another time. I feel like the first two times that they faced each other were great. And then the third time was pretty good. And now we're getting into like, there's going to be more volumes of this than Star Wars, and there's only so many more stories that they can tell as performers with this. I will say, we saw it again in the ending of this match. I say it time over time with Michin, one of the most clever counter wrestlers you will find, male or female. Like, unreal. Or any other gender, for that matter. Like, I love watching her work, so I'm excited in that sense, and I love that more women are getting more screen time, but you and I were talking before the show, this roster has like 300 wrestlers on it. I feel like I'm seeing a very small portion of that. I do think after Royal Rumble, we'll probably get some call-ups. We'll get some fresh blood in, so that's good. But my goodness, like we really just keep running out the same people along with the same playbooks, and it makes you feel like you're watching the same episodes over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have, the very first ever women's U.S. champion, I think it would take a little bit out of the old playbook, right? Like she would come out and she would say, hey, listen, I've seen the men do it. I've seen the men do open challenges for their U.S. title. I want to do the same. I want to bring prestige to this title. And it seems like they're just kind of sitting back on the fact that she's a very, very good entertainer. Piper Niven matches her freak. Is that what the kids calling it? No, I don't think the kids are calling it that anymore. But anyway, they work very well together, and that's what they kind of bank on. Is just that whole interaction, and then putting the same people in different variations into fights is meaningless. Especially for like it's cool to see and watch if you're there, but a lot of us like you and I who kind of break things down like this. It's like, what's next? Why are we doing this? Why don't we elevate Chelsea? Like, because at this point, it's just like she's going to end up losing this U.S. title. And all we're going to remember is just that A, she was the very first one, and B, who she lost it to. Because the in-between has been kind of a little bit like dull for me.
Yeah, it's been kind of redundant. I am of the camp that she should drop it to Roxanne when Roxanne comes around. I would love to see Roxanne versus Bayley at Mania. I think that would be a really cool program. But Alex Pulaski, who's talking it up in the chat, feel free to show some love to him. And I were talking about how cool it would be if there was this kind of generational statement that you had Roxanne versus Bayley at Mania, you had Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte at Mania, and you had Becky versus Lyra at Mania. Like, that could be a really cool roster-wide story to tell of, like, the 3 of the 4 horsewomen that are still remaining are now moving on from working with each other to another group, and Bianca and Rhea kind of get to be that in-between generation. There's a lot to say to the depth of your women's roster if you are going to do that. But we did later see, thank you to Jay Miller. I was going to talk about this, but if you're going to pay me to talk about it even better, Flair was talking to Piper behind Motor City Machine Guns backstage. She's great. Whatever they were trying to do with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn and her didn't work. Like, flat out didn't work. She was doing really cool work in NXT. She did great work in Japan as well. So I would like to see her be in something that works. We did have a backstage too where Chelsea had kind of said, like, what happened out there? I shouldn't be getting pinned. Cheer the champion. I get that. I don't like champions getting pinned, but if you're going to do it, like, she's the one who's going to get pinned, unfortunately, because she's silly. And also it fits the tandem act of her championship, right? Like, her success is contingent on Piper Niven, and eventually Piper Niven is not going to be there for her at some point, and all the house of cards is going to come tumbling down. So I don't like it, but I can at least understand it. So we will see. We will see what unfolds there, but clip Blair Davenport on my screen, please. Let's keep moving along this episode of SmackDown, but here's something that was at least fresh. We can talk about this. We can talk about.
No, just kidding.
It was actually. I kind of like this blue rig mat, but we get Carmelo Hayes and Damian Priest. I am tired of Carmelo Hayes losing, though I understand it's at least going somewhere. But I appreciate that he was smart backstage in this. You have Nick Aldis saying, or you have Carmelo saying, hey, Jimmy Uso was supposed to fight me tonight, and now you shipped him off with Kevin Owens. What the heck, man? And he says, I've got somebody via the transfer portal coming over here from Raw, which I can't stress to you enough has meant literally nothing, because a bunch of other people from Raw came over not via the transfer portal. And if you're thinking, well, that's a roster trade, people have come through the portal and not stuck around on this roster, so that also doesn't mean anything. It's been bad. I was excited at first. The portal thing has not worked. But I love Carmelo saying, hold on, last time you brought over someone from Raw, you gave me Braun freaking Strowman, and that was not cool. I'm not falling for that again. I don't trust you, which I thought was pretty clever. Says, I'm going to see who it is first. And we get Damian Priest coming over. I hope he does stick around SmackDown. I think of anybody, he needs to be away from the Judgment Day as much as possible. And I think he could do some really great work in this specific brand and this ecosystem with these competitors. And he kind of like everybody else who's been around for a minute, like kind of shrugs off with Carmelo and says he's going to teach him a lesson. The match is great. Damian beats Carmelo. I liked what we got here, though. That South of Heaven looks really cool, and Carmelo was really good at selling, so there were some cool things in the ending, but Hayes looks to go to the top and misses the nothing but net, goes for the small package, but only gets 2, and then Priest just kills him with a lariat. I mean, the lariatest lariat to ever lariat. Like, this looked really good, and then that South of Heaven for the win. Like, Hangman walked with bringing back a lariat, just a regular one for a finisher, so that Damian Priest could do the same if he chose to, but he goes for the South of Heaven here. I liked their chemistry a lot. I think the difference in size and style made for a really fun match here. Wherever we're going with Carmelo, get there, because right now he just looks like a chump. He's talking a bunch of crap backstage. He can't back it up in the ring. I get that that's the story. He's too young of a talent and not established enough for that story to hit. If you don't turn the tide soon, turn the tide soon. But the match was super fun to watch. Like, I thought they had great chemistry. But I got a text from my cousin who doesn't watch NXT and didn't know Carmelo Hayes' background. And he said, they got to start having this guy win. He's cool as hell. And I agree with my cousin on that. So there you go. Someone who's a normal wrestling fan, not like us weirdos out here, saying like, Carmelo should start winning. That guy's cool. And I agree.
Yeah, the thing with Carmelo is they must have some higher plan for him. And I think like putting him through the ringer like this is going to probably showcase a even higher story. At least for me, that's what I kind of feel like is going to happen. And to talk about the fact that now Damian Priest has finally broken those freaking chains and cemented himself away from the Judgment Day, which is a great thing. I honestly think that they should have him really embrace his Puerto Rican heritage, and really kind of like lean a little bit towards that. It's cool being the goth daddy, but I want him to kind of like also, he talks so well. He's so articulate about, his heritage whenever he does interviews and he's out doing certain things out in the communities, that it'd be cool to kind of do like, give him Savio Vega. You know what I'm saying? Like something cool like that. I don't know. I just feel like that's a little bit wasted, and I loved his representation. He's a big boy. Put him out there, man. Like put the flag on him and just go out there and bring back Bad Bunny a couple times to team up with him and just do the thing, man. Do the thing.
It is nice to have a Hispanic talent around that is not high flyer luchador. Penta's not a high flyer luchador either, but they keep telling me he is. So high flyer luchador for that.
Every 5 seconds, I did it for Eddie. And he's so pissed up there that you continue to wake him up when he's chilling, trying to relax. Let him sleep.
I do think maybe what happens with Carmelo Hayes is he realized he needs backup, and maybe that's where we get Trick Williams coming up from NXT. Yeah. They last left on a bitter rivalry that ended, but they love to A, just pretend that never happened, or B, you could do some creative work to have them come together, but maybe he realizes that he needs someone in his corner, and maybe that's his best friend from NXT for most of his time there up until—
makes a lot of sense.
He went. So we will see if that is the case. But Alex, there's so much going on in the world with pay-per-view costs, with all these different streaming platforms. I just want to watch my wrestling in one place, man. And I don't care if I have to leave the country to do it. I want to save money on my pay-per-views, okay? I want a secure internet connection, and I want to be on TikTok on my own damn free will, no matter what. And darn it, I know exactly how we can get you there, and that's with our good friends at NordVPN.
I have long talked with you guys about the content that you can access with NordVPN.com/Fightful, but it doesn't just stop at pro wrestling. You can get MMA and boxing pay-per-views at a much more affordable price when you change your virtual location with just one click using NordVPN.com/Fightful. It doesn't stop there either. Football games. Man, if you want to check out those out-of-market football games, you don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You can get NordVPN.com/Fightful and just change your virtual location. How about baseball games? They make it harder than ever to actually watch baseball games. It is a task. Not with NordVPN.com/Fightful. They got everything you need, in addition to all the threat protection and security that comes with NordVPN. But if you want that content, NordVPN.com/Fightful is right for you.
And, to add to that, Kate mentioned she likes watching her things all in one place. It's how I get my WWE content now.
There you go.
I fly overseas in a matter of seconds, my friends. A wink. And all of a sudden, wrestling in its entirety is on WWE-wise, is on Netflix. How do you think I watch Smackdown?
On the flicks.
On the flicks.
Thank you, Netflix.
NXT on the flicks. Thank you, Netflix, and thank you, chat.
We love you, chat.
We love you, chat. Let's not forget about that. That is our go-to call here. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible. NordVPN, Thank you so much. I got them for like 10 years. I signed a 10-year contract with them because of the amazing discount that we do get here at Fightful. I'm like, I might as well go the distance for as long as the E is on Netflix. You have to sign up for Nord as well. I don't care what anyone says.
Code Fightful will save you a ton of money.
Ton.
Sponsors of the Fightful Awards, and sincerely, we always tell you guys about the benefits, and then we play the thing from Sean. But right now, it's like I've heard more people reply to us, and it actually does mean a lot, because there's so many people that are like, yeah, it's great, and there are people like, dude, there's so many platforms right now, and everybody's getting hacked all the time, and it pays within 2 pay-per-views for itself or whatever, like that. Yeah. Of any sponsor we have, they're the ones that we get the most feedback from, I think, of just how valuable it is as a service and how much you save with the code Fightful. So thank you to them. But love for Boost saying, credit Priest for giving Hinchcliffe the cold shoulder as he walked by. I was hoping he'd spit in his face. Well, yeah, there you go. We also missed a chat from him on Wednesday. I sat in with Alex Pulowski for that. Sean stopped by with some scoops, but we talked about a pretty damn good Dynamite. And he had said, hear me out, Okada, Omega, Ospreay, and White formed the new elite and dismantled the Death Riders. I like it in that it gets rid of the Death Riders. I don't think I need that. This angle just sucks. I'm sorry, the World Championship angle at AEW just sucks, because I'm like, the Death Riders should be recruiting other heels at this point.
Yes.
Like, yes, that's a good faction feud, but like it you can't come in here and say you work for me now, and he's like, but specifically only these few people. Like it does not work. It doesn't work. So I like your idea, and that's a great collection of talent. I'm loving what's going on in the international title picture right now. I think it's actually going to swallow the world title whole, but let's keep working down the card. One thing that you and I talked about being a plus on this show is we do get more tag wrestling than we've gotten in a very long time, because we do have this extra hour. We see Motor City Machine Guns and Pretty Deadly. We do get Shelly hitting the Skull and Bones for the win, but this felt like let's remind you that Pretty Deadly can really go, so that you don't only laugh at them, that you laugh with them, because here's a reminder that they can really freaking wrestle. I thought they looked really good in this match. You're a Motor City Machine Guns hater. Obviously, you have no appreciation for their contributions to this great sport.
Set me on fire and threw a bus over me. Damn, everyone. I hope everyone clipped that, because I was about to say something nice. It's right? I even just deleted it off my monitor. I was like, let's say something nice. Nope, gone.
I do think this was a good showcase for Pretty Deadly, though. Like they have been put in the constantly lose column for a little bit, and they are so silly that I think they can endure that. But they can really go, and it felt like, you know what, we have an extra hour on the show. Let's remind some people of what they're capable of. And I actually really appreciated that they did that. The result was never in doubt, but it was an entertaining as hell match, and I thought the chemistry between both teams was great.
Yeah, yes, boys, I really like them. You know what I'm saying? They're one of my favorite tag teams on SmackDown.
I know.
They have charisma. They have wit. They can wrestle. I don't know why we had to have them fight this team, this rookie team that just came up.
Who are these?
To the main roster. These chumps. Okay.
I'm here.
With their hippie hair. Okay. From Detroit. That's all I know.
I love that you call them rookies when Chris Sabin looks like he's been wrestling for decades.
Nah, listen, I'm building love for the team. Like they can still go. They're great in the ring. I feel like anytime they get into the ring with anyone, we haven't really seen a lot of it. We've seen more with, against DIY and whatever, but they can go, and I'm really enjoying how they made Pretty Deadly kind of like bring it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? And I enjoy that, because we need to see more tag teams like Pretty Deadly out there kind of getting that time to shine. And they brought out the best in each other. Other than that, these rookies are doing okay.
They're doing all right. I'm just calling up this chat because can we all agree that Def Rebel is possibly destroying tag wrestling? I am genuinely not looking forward to the part of the Rumble where people's themes hit, and that's sad. And that should be a wake-up call to WWE because every theme sounds the same and mostly boring, and it's Rumble, so I'm sure people are going to pop, but it's not going to be like proper pops when somebody's theme hits because they're someone's name in lo-fi. Come on.
Yeah, I should hire you. That was pretty damn good. I'm ready.
That's basically what they do.
At a beat
for generic guitars, Penta's theme is generic guitars. Makes Jack Black look like a genius in School of Rock.
How did they fire these guys? What happened?
There was a job posting up for their jobs, but I think they have to have the right people to replace them. Which, by the way, I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do. I'm just saying that,
of course,
they're not good at that hard thing. So
you should just start bringing back like the old school days when they had like Disturbed and Kid Rock. They're really good friends with Kid Rock.
Why do you people think? By you people, I mean you and Sean specifically.
Well, I mean, she just called. Did she just you people me? Can you guys
promote you?
Wow, I cannot believe she just you peopled me. I feel attacked, and I'm calling HR right after this.
When I say you people, I specifically mean you and Sean. The answer is not a bunch of mid-2000s crap rock.
But that's what people want. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what.
No, they don't, because look at what Mikey Ruckus does with AEW. All these really inspired, cool things. Look at what he did with the Hurt Business's theme. Now people are a cappella yelling "Hurt People."
That's true, yeah.
Come on, just do a good job. You don't need stock 2000s. But
it's just WWE though. You know, like bring back WWE metal. Remember those CDs? Like just one time.
This is a bad dude Tito burner account. I'm now convinced. Not Creed. I have Pro Tools knowledge. I do have Pro Tools knowledge. That's why I'm such a nerd and a whiny one about this. But let's continue on. Guys, get in those super chats and humper chats. Please leave a thumbs up on this video. The scoop ski that has been discussed, that Bianca and Rhea, who were both on this show tonight, reported by FightfulSelect.com, conveniently hours before this episode. It's like that Sean Ross Sapp knows what he's doing back there, all right? Plenty of other value behind the paywall in addition to scoops. So you get me and Alex, who was just in the chat, not sure if he still is, doing PLE and pay-per-view post shows. I think we're doing a Saturday night's main event one. Nice. I've got some white girl bridesmaid stuff to do tomorrow, but I think I'll be back in time.
Oh my god! This whole time,
I'm shocked about it too.
Oh, you're Puerto Rican like me.
But in addition to me and Alex back there, you've got Sean's Ask SRS channel and the Fightful Discord, which is a great place to hang out and talk some wrestling. He's got that backstage Q&A report as well. So plenty of value behind the paywall. You get Ask Rhapsody back there too. Lots of good stuff going on behind there for just $6. Subscribe and support original reporting because Lord knows people aren't giving Sean the credit or Corey at other publications, but we'll continue on.
I've seen that.
A very frustrating week for people undercutting people at Fightful's hard work, especially because you guys did not tune in for a media ethics seminar, so I'm not going to try and give you one. Sean goes pretty far out of his way to try and make sure that other people are properly credited, not only in Fightful, but if he sees publication A reported something and publication B is not giving credit, he'll call out that publication.
Sure.
To give credit because that's just the right thing to do. But
to their face too. So he's not, I
don't know, Alex. It's a surprise to both of us, but we're going to
breaking news. I'm hearing right now that Kate and Alex are doing.
Don't break that news because I don't know if that's true.
Sorry. Wait, I'm hearing over here breaking news. They don't know if it's true.
Yeah. We asked about it internally and we will let you know as soon as we get an update.
That's cool. You should always do that. Like if you're hold on, Alex. You should always kind of just like, huh? You're pretty good at it.
What's that?
I almost believed it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm standing here on the Smackdown post show.
The control room is telling me right now.
I'm hearing that. I will let you know there is a Collision and Saturday night's main event hybrid show that'll be happening on the main, regardless of whether Alex and I are doing it. So we will have that for you. That's going to be that's going to be Cresta, Riccacino, and SP3. My guess is SP3 is going to be the guy that watches both because he's hot and up to date on both products. But what an asset he's been since joining our ROH post show. He has been so versatile. Whenever we needed to plug him in for something, he has come prepared and correct and with enthusiasm. Even when he was in England, he was like, staying up till 2 a.m. to talk wrestling? Sure, why not? Like, he's been really, really great. So very, very happy about that. But yeah, you'll get a dual post show there, and Alex and I will figure it out tomorrow. Nice. But speaking of Alex Pulowski, I just know he was so excited to see that The Miz has showed up on SmackDown. We get Nick Aldis talking with The Miz. Miz asks if he's there to pop a rating, which I actually thought was kind of cute. But Aldis says he's on SmackDown permanently, and Miz is so excited. And he says he doesn't want to be there with the Wyatts. And Aldis says Miz might need to make new friends because Miz thinks that Cross is responsible for it. Later, we find out that A-Town Down Under is headed to Raw when The Miz is looking for allies on SmackDown. I do appreciate that The Miz got right to work in trying to make friends.
100%, yeah.
Baby faces should try it sometimes.
As always. I don't think I've ever seen Miz like be part of any like Raw or SmackDown brand and not immediately align himself with
I will find alliances. But I think that's an appropriate switch just from a product standpoint. Like there's nothing happening here for Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. That's been working. Still believe they should split them up, but if they're not going to do that, switch up the brands for sure. So any thoughts on that? That felt fine to me. Like both of those guys could probably use fresh slates.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's time to kind of like, I hope they separate them, but yeah.
So we get Johnny Gargano with Tommaso Ciampa in his corner versus Apollo Crews on this. They wanted Apollo Crews to stay out of their business because Apollo Crews says, pretty deadly, I told you you're a bunch of chumps about this, but Gargano loses because he's dumb and he gets distracted by the Motor City Machine Guns who come out and stand there. And that throws Johnny Gargano way off. So he takes the loss here. But later backstage, this is where we get the setup that this is going to be on Royal Rumble, which is good. That card's pretty much taken shape now. You've got both Rumbles. You'll get a Tiffany Stratton title defense against someone, I'm thinking. You'll get this tag match. So that's, I don't love 5-match cards, but I think it's good when 2 of your matches are Rumble matches. Like those are like an hour. So that's fair. So some proper housekeeping on that. I'm looking forward to that match. It's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match too, which is good because that'll be the blow off to it in all likelihood.
It's going to rock.
I know you love Motor City Machine Guns.
I love, you know what? This might be I'm picking them.
What's your favorite Motor City Machine Guns match?
It's hard to pick. They've only been in the scene for so long, so I kind of really enjoyed. I think tonight's was one of my favorites. You know, when they won the titles on their first rookie night was big.
I love that you just gave them Tony Storm's gimmick a little bit. You're like, I've decided that they're rookies.
Something about them coming out like that reminds me of like old school Ultimate Warrior coming out. Like I just love everything about them. They're from Detroit. I mean, God.
Learn your wrestling, Cardoza. Go watch them in the Young Bucks now.
How dare you yell at me? I watch.
Get off the screen right now.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, go watch. Go watch.
Totally blacked out.
Alex is going to go watch the Young Bucks versus the Motor City Machine Guns.
I'm reporting back. What an amazing match.
Guys, we're coming down the home stretch already. So get in those super chats and humper chats. Let's talk Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. We alluded to that promo earlier in the night. That was so good by Jacob Fatu. He kills those walk and talk promos. They're so good. But he says, tomorrow night, he and Braun will create a monster movie, which I thought was cute. Man, he just crushes this. And I believe him when he says he's going to kick someone's ass. Like, he's been one of the, considering he came from like MLW and the indies and stuff, especially, to go to the most highly produced products and to translate maybe not the most kid-friendly persona into being something that assimilates to fans of every age. I really, really like how he has just walked in, established himself as a main eventer, and backed up everything he's kind of said. I'm excited for him to have more matches. Like, that's my only complaint about him, is because he's been in the solo adjacent role. Yeah. Like, we haven't got enough just like him tearing the scene up. He's going to tear the scene up pretty soon.
I see him going forward
to that. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. So some good stuff there, but we have this match with Tama Tonga and LA Knight. Nice to see Tama Tonga in action as well. I get really uncomfortable with them constantly referencing him as an animal and these guys as animals. I just don't like that language.
It's so old school too. Like, that was something that they did in the late 80s to the 90s, was when, you know, the Samoans were always introduced like, oh, they're animals, look at them, they lick each other's hair. Like, come on, dude. Like,
well, if it's referential to that, I actually have less of a problem with it. I wasn't watching then, so I just don't really like it.
I mean, they love to reference their heritage, like, you know, like sure. WWE loves to go back in time, and obviously they have all this history, so why not? But I don't know if it's actually because of that, or they just call them animals because they're crazy, you know, and they just like bite stuff. I don't know.
There were Samoans who were wild, I was told.
Oh.
You know what? We actually haven't done this in a while. We tell you to send in your super chats and your humper chats, but if you're wondering how, you can go to humperchats.com if you want, or in the super chats, you pay for specific numbers of characters. So if it's under, 100 characters, it's $1.99. And then anything above that is like $6. And if you're typing us paragraphs, it goes higher than that, but it's per the characters. So there should be like a $sign icon. And that's how you can support us. And thank you so much. That all goes right back into these shows. So we are entirely fan funded. We appreciate anybody that's willing to. And if you're new around these parts, like Frederick is, we've got a really nice community here. So everybody say hi to Frederick.
Yes, Frederick. You and Motor City. Thank you for being.
We love you, Frederick.
We love
you, Frederick. That's what we should do every super chat. It won't get old at all.
It won't. It'll be interesting to see how far we make it.
So this ends with a blunt force trauma, but I like that we get a little bit of a little chaos around this. We got Tama Tonga fighting up and eating an avalanche gourd buster that gets followed with a megastar elbow. And Knight goes for the blunt force trauma originally, but Fatu distracts him so that Tama can get the roll up. Doesn't work. BFT for the win here. And post-match, you get Fatu pulling Knight out of the ring and hitting the Samoan drop on the announce table, which was gnarly. Joe Tessitore was paralyzed with fear by this, but this was super fun. There's some headbutts in here, and then Braun Strowman comes out to set up things for tomorrow. We get the stare down between Braun and Fatu. And I'll say this. I knew Fatu was a big guy. Him standing across the ring from Braun really put it in perspective for me how big he is. Because Braun, I don't know if you know this, is a monster among men. So
I had no idea. I used to think he was a train.
He was at a point.
I thought that was his gimmick for a while. True.
But this, I think, has a chance to steal the show tomorrow. If for no other reason, it's a really fresh matchup. But I think this is one of the things I'm looking forward to most. And I'm not the world's biggest Braun Strowman fan, but I like Braun Strowman in contexts like this. I think this is going to be super, super, super fun. So that was kind of the last thing to talk about. We do get a vignette from Shinsuke declaring for Rumble, which, again, he has somebody else's title. He's got another title to worry about. So I don't always love that. But what did you think of the final match that we're talking about here tonight?
It was great. And if you didn't know, they have a new reinforced desk. I don't know if
it's cool looking.
They probably only mentioned it once in the show, So if you guys didn't know, because there was a lot of slamming on that desk today. So other than that, yeah, I mean, it was cool. They were setting up, like I said before, it was kind of like a go-home show. Kind of like they set up a lot of cool things for tomorrow. I can't wait to see how Jacob Fatu's gonna come out on top. I mean, he's just I love him.
Gonna be so much fun to watch that match. That one's gonna rule. We are getting, by the way, Commander. Who was Commander fighting? I closed out the super chat document.
Oh, Okada.
Oh, Okada's going to beat the ROH TV title holder again. Yay. No, that match will be super fun. That match will be super fun. So lots to look forward to on Collision tomorrow. Again, that post show is going to be a hybrid with the Saturday night's main event post show. So love that. Hate that we were a little more down on today's episode, but we're headed into a really exciting season for WWE. This just felt like long and rematch heavy, so not as fun as last week. Like that had some momentum behind it that I was hoping would sustain to this week. But you're right in that we're in kind of a weird space because it's like half a go home to tomorrow's show, but then we have the proper go home to Royal Rumble next week. So that's just really challenging creatively because you can't advance much of anything really. But that Royal Rumble card's starting to take shape. Sean will be at Royal Rumble getting interviews for you guys as well on this channel. We are closing in on 124,000 subscribers on this channel, which is incredible to me, to us. It's so appreciated. But Sean works really hard to get you guys good content that makes subscribing worth it in addition to these post shows. So please subscribe if you haven't already. We love you so much. Thank you.
We love you, chat.
But before we get out of here, Alex, where can people find you?
Hey, I got a little surprise coming to you guys real soon. I was supposed to drop it before today, but unfortunately, like I was hella busy. You
were watching Motor City Machine Guns matches?
I totally was. If you look at my search history, there's a lot of Motor City machine gunning.
Well, I can't do that because you use NordVPN. So
I do, and I also use incognito mode. Just
there you go.
Yeah, they're banning a lot of things here in the United States, so you might as well just get it. So you can go to alexiscardoza.com. That's where you can find all of my links, every single new thing I'm working on. If you want to support me in any single way, it's there. Please do so. I'm trying to build up all my socials again because I kind of went crazy one time and deleted everyone because I was just like, who am I? And then now I'm like, oh, wait, I like people. So why don't you follow me? Yeah, follow me on all that good stuff. And please, 21 to everyone out there, please just from me, stay safe, and care for people around you. Right now, we're in crazy times, especially any Latinos that you might know. Just keep that in mind. Extra love
for everyone. We're always here to be a safe space to talk about wrestling. You can just come here and be yourself, but you can't be an asshole or Luis Polito is going to give you the hook and you're going to be out of here. But you can find me at Miss Kate Fabe on social media. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which will have Royal Rumble predictions coming up soon enough. There's also a series that I don't know if Pulowski's still in the chat, but I'm going to get him on for called Let Me Explain Your Honor, where we're going to have people defend their wrestlers. So, for example, somebody defending Kevin Owens while somebody takes Cody Rhodes' position, things like that. So, at Miss Kate Fabe on social media, you can check out all of my content there. Couldn't get anything up this week, but we'll be coming back next week with some really fun stuff. On this channel, you've got Grapsody, you've got the Saturday night's main event and Collision post shows. We are going to keep graphics coming out for you guys so that you can see the schedule of everything we have going on because it's about to get even crazier. So keep an eye out for those on Fightful social media, but we've got you covered this weekend. We appreciate you guys so much. Have a safe and wonderful wrestling weekend. Enjoy Saturday night's main event tomorrow because Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman are going to do some damage. Sheamus and Braun Breaker, I think, is going to be great too. Gunther and Jay, there's a lot to like about tomorrow. So enjoy wrestling this weekend, however you choose to. We appreciate your support here, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.